That's why on yesterday's analysis, I was expecting price to retest this banker block and drop towards this liquidity pool that we can see here to the left, the equals based off these two structure points. So after the live stream from yesterday, it did in fact go to the target, but it didn't really retest the banker block. So since then, price has just completely rallied. At the time, at around 1-ish, I was expecting a potential drop to the downside because of the compression. And obviously this never happened, it failed. So what happened there is price developed into a larger sort of descending pattern, as you can see. So we go to the current price action. It's literally just fully retested this sort of flag that we can see on the 15-minute. Which is now just completely done. So we can just delete this, remove this. All this analysis from yesterday is done. And like I said yesterday, I was only interested in the one move down. You know, that's our speciality with the BLT. Just that one move down is enough to catch a 10R on the euro, for example. Now, obviously, I never took euro because it just didn't look clean. But we're just interested in this move. Once this happens, then a few scenarios could happen. It could break to the downside. It could rally up if there's no confirmation here. And this is what happened. There was no break of structure to the downside for the confirmation. So what's likely to happen next? It rallied to the upside. So we're always prepared on both scenarios. So let's actually zoom out a little bit and see what's happening with the DXY. This we can remove now. This is done. This is interesting. There's a break of structure on the 1 hour. Look, the 1 hour relevant low. Sorry, the relevant high and the relevant low. Liquidity grab in the middle, just a complex pullback. It's messy and boom, we've got confirmation. Now we have a break of structure on the H1, which is pretty interesting. It's about time because I was losing my patience. Here we go. So break of structure on the H1. So we're bullish on the H1. So we do have this pattern that we can update. I did have this trend line here as a reference in case it rallies long, and it looks like I was right. Just need to move it a little bit to the right, and now we have this relevant pattern. This particular channel is just invalid now. It's breaking, especially because of the 1, 2, 3. This is too many taps. If anything, I'll be expecting a boomerang such as this. So this pattern we can delete now. It's irrelevant. Mostly, what's most important is when you've got too many taps that's quite near to each other, it just weakens it. You want something more consistent like this. 1, 2, and then 3, right? You can, every now and again, this does actually play out, but normally they just fail, right? It's all probabilities, really. Okay, let's delete this particular pattern and see what's happening here. So we are bullish on the H1. Zoom out to the H4. I am still expecting this zone to be filled. And I do also have this as a reference. So it could even still go higher, right? You know, this is still on the cards, this trend line here. We should be in confluence with a boomerang. But because of this sort of outer structure and a more cleaner pattern, then this is also definitely favored. So it really just depends on the confirmation. Wait for confirmation. So I'm going to separate this trend line here. And once and if this trend line here fails and there's no boomerang 1, 2, 3 from around here, then I'll update it. You know, I'll just extend it. But I am definitely favoriting this particular channel than this one. But I'm not going to ignore it. I'm still going to be monitoring it. So that's the game plan. And we've been saying it's going long towards this area for a while now. So what we can do is look for some form of let's, just look for some levels around it. That's boomerang territory. So if we zoom out, maybe it's too far. Yeah, it's way too far. It's a little bit too. It's not going to let me go to the H4. But let's see what we can find on H4. No. Oh, wow. Okay, that's way too far. Let's start again. Let's go to the daily. Maybe there's something on the daily that we can more or less see. Nah, it's really, really hard to sell. This is obviously a banker block here, but that's already been filled. Yeah, we can't really see much, to be honest. So what I am going to do is just have this as just a bank level. This is a nice little bank level from around this. So we have that as a reference, but around this price action, there's probably a banker block or imbalances on the lower time frames, but on the daily, it's just not clear. So let's go back to the current time. And we do have this daily bank level that's in confluence with this boomerang, right? So the probabilities are just increasing a lot more to complete this. It's definitely bullish towards here, and we'll see. So let's see what's going to happen. Let's go to the H4 at least. We're literally bullish on all time frames. H1, we're bullish. H4, we're bullish. Are we bullish on the daily? No, we're not. No, that takes a long time because this is, you have to actually follow around. Boom, focus structure, relevant low, relevant high. Focus structure, yeah, bullish. Bullish zone. Yeah, we're actually still in bullish territory on the daily time frame. We're just about to make a new high. Okay, so we're bullish on all time frames, to be honest. And there's no surprise because obviously if we zoom out to, even the monthly, we know that price is a magnet towards, towards this parallel channel. 1, 2, and 3, boomerang territory, and obviously 1, 2, and 3. So there's many confluences for the DXY to just continue going long. Let's go to the H4. See what's happening. Yeah, looking really bullish. 15. Okay, there we go. So 15 is also bullish. And on the 15-minute time frame, this is the H1. The 15-minute time frame, let's actually follow structure around. We do have, there we go. New low, so new high, liquidity grab, liquidity grab, liquidity grab. All this is a liquidity grab, and boom. There we go. So now we have this as our relevant structure. Our break, sorry. Around here. This is remove it and delete it. Make it nice and tidy. And now we're looking at this as our breaker structure. So price could potentially, it's probably unlikely to retest this banker block. This is way, way, way too much momentum. So if anything, what could happen is make a new high, make a new sort of new low, new high, and then a break to the downside. And then we'll be looking for shorts. And eventually there'll be probably a larger flag. So at the moment, when there's all this momentum, just step away from the markets, to be honest. Best time to get involved is when we see compression before a breaker structure, right? This is obviously in the morning. You can catch this London session if you're awake, but personally, I prefer the US session. Okay, so just lots of momentum. There we go. So yeah, the bulls are back in town. Now what we can do is, let me see, hold on, let's zoom out one more time. Yeah, I'm gonna wait. I'm just gonna wait for the dollar until it shows its cards, because we're still within this pattern, which is very, very relaxed. It's just, yeah, I'm gonna delete it because it's gonna fail. This pattern here definitely takes precedence. The one over here. And once this breaks, then this is a really, really good. This is most likely going to be the Friday trade for me, or a Thursday, right? A nice little drop there. And I think there is some volatile news this week. I do believe it's NFP, and some other important news, which will cause a lot of volatility. Okay, so DXY, yeah, just waiting, just wait for some price action. At the moment, it's in the middle of no man's land. Banker blocks a million miles away. Boomerang territory is a million miles away. There's too much momentum. There's no compression. And what do? You step away, just chill. Okay, Euro. Oh, what's all this? This is from yesterday. Okay, let's delete this, delete this, delete this, delete this, delete this, delete this. Looks like it's going to my point of interest. I was expecting a rally on this this flag, and then it did rally, but obviously the way it broke, the flag was really, really weak. And then it just respected this parallel pattern here, and it's just a weak breakout, right? So, you know, surprise, surprise, it didn't really rally with momentum. And plus, it's a flag in the middle. You know, you do want to see these flags, you want to see it after a 1, 2, 3 around this area. Then you see a flag, lots of momentum. Or you can see it just be before a trend line, but you want to see momentum towards a trend line, and then you see a flag. But what we have here is just corrective, no volume, no volatility. You see a flag. What's the likelihood of this breaking momentum? Is very, very unlikely. So these are all this is what makes me decide whether to take a trade or not. It's just these little details that you need to pay attention to. So now, okay, we've obviously broken structure on the H1. Oh, that's fine. Broken structure. We have a head and shoulder, potential neckline that hasn't. It's going to get retested soon. 15-minute, same thing. I mean, let's actually update this. See, boom, boom. Yeah, this is the most relevant sort of structure. So yeah, same point of interest. Redefine the banker block towards this banker block here. We'll see if it goes there. It's unlikely. It's just so much momentum. If anything, we're going to use this as a target. This would be a good target. Once we get involved in a potential long, this is a nice little target. Lots and lots of momentum on the euro. This target from up here has now been hit, but again, it's just a good area to be taking profit. It's a liquidity pool from this equal lows. So, you know, that's done. This is going to get filled soon. Let's zoom out to the H2. When I zoom out to the H2, everyone, it's not because I trade it. It's just because price action can be sometimes clearer than the H1 and the H4. So it's like sometimes I'll go on the 30-second time frame just to get some clearer price action. Okay, so H4, let's delete this, delete this. Okay, and yeah, this is probably going to fail, but we never know. You know, if there's price action on the dollar, we'll reevaluate. We do have this nice parallel channel. How many taps is this? This is 1, 2. Okay, that's another sort of scenario then. Go. So Euro will be ready soon, just not today. Okay, obviously I'm going to update any analysis if price action updates as well to something clearer. Okay, so that's the XY Euro. Aussie is still within this channel. You know, didn't really reach the equal highs setup. It did in fact reach this point of interest, which I did say in yesterday's live stream, I believe. Yeah, this sort of banker block around here or whatever. But again, there's no trades for me yet. Let's go to the H1. This is dropping. I'll be interested in this trend line. And then we've got plan B trend line. Oh, wow, what's this? And they plan C trend line. We're just looking for a boomerang on either one. Okay, so AUD USD. Yeah, let's break a structure here. Structure here. Aussie can pull back. The Aussie does love a pullback. Plan A banker block, and we've got plan B banker block. So you can decide whether to split the risk, wait for confirmation on one, or just trade one of them. It really just depends on price action again. Okay, so that's yeah, nice little bank level here as a target. With bank levels, I prefer to use them as targets. So imbalances and bank levels, they're good for targets, right? Good for targets. For entries, I prefer banker blocks. It's just something that I've found out and confirmed with reviewing my winners and my losses. Okay, so yeah, at the moment it's just, yeah, it's really, really low. We do have potential equal lows, which is really good. If this decides to rally, it's a good target. But let's put this as a break of structure. So it'll be decent. If it starts to rally from now for whatever reason, and then we see some form of some confirmation here, new breaker structure, we sell it, we know that this is almost guaranteed to get basically taken out. So just a good little target. And we can use this liquidity pool, or you can be extra conservative and just use the bank level right below the imbalance, or just combine both bank levels and use that as a liquidity pool. Same thing really, which is good area to be taking profits if we get shorts from around here. So this looks a bit clearer to me than all the other pairs I've just analyzed because of the equal odds. If it starts to rally, obviously if it starts to drop, then just leave it. I'm not going to touch it. I'll let it drop until it forms some form of a pattern or a nice boomerang from around this area. Then I can be buying it towards this point of interest. It's just the same process over and over again. Okay, that's Aussie. I'll add it to my watch list, but again, I'm very, very conservative with my first week of trading. My first, every new week, I'm very, very selective with my trades, only take high probability trades. I do take losses every now and again, but I'll continue to only trade high probability trades. Normally, I'll probably catch a winner on Wednesday, 5-10R, and then I'll be more aggressive. Then I'll be trading a lot of the other valid setups. At the moment, this is just a valid setup. I'm not going to be taking it. This is a setup that we should be taking once we're up here. We're up here. We've taken some profits. It comes up to our entry. We just add an entry. This is just a scaling opportunity. It's not really a boomerang sort of entry. Boomerang entry, really, we want to see something like this. And then a boomerang, 1, 2, 3 confirmation, and boom, right? So it's down to personal preference. Whether you want to take valid or medium or high probability trades, it's completely down to you. That's not something now I'll write down in. It's not a rule of the BLT. It's really down to you. Everyone's more conservative and more risk adverse than others. Okay, that's Aussie. Dolly, I was watching this on my phone on the alerts, and it just never came into fruition. So I had on my phone I was just following this mentally, and there was no breaker structure, as you can see. Obviously, had I taken a boomerang from, let's say, here, for example, or wherever, it would have been a loss. This is why I don't take the boomerang unless there's confirmation. Now, again, just to summarize, if I'm up for the week 5-10R, I would have definitely taken this boomerang, definitely. But at the start of the week with 0 profits, I'm very, very conservative. So yeah, no confirmation. But you go on a 1-minute time frame, and look, relevant low, relevant high, and then you've got like a liquidity grab, right? So it's like there's literally no confirmation. So you more or less have to just step away. Look, no confirmation at all. And this, I mean, okay, this is maybe a confirmation, but guess what? It's 10 o'clock. It's away from my trading hours. So yeah, just no trades there, to be honest. Oh wow, it's really dry. Let's zoom out. Let's see what's happening. So okay, let's go to the H1. This is all done anyway. Don't need this. It's old news. Old. No confirmation, no trades. Do we have maybe a potential setup here? Maybe. So when this becomes expanding, right? We don't do that. We just update it to the next structure point. And now it's a valid pattern. Okay, so yeah, this looks like a nice, decent potential trade. And we do have, hold on a minute, what is this? Maybe there's a bit of a pattern here. Yeah, there's a bit of a boomerang of this pattern and a parallel sort of channel there. And we do have, I mean, we know that these equal lows are guaranteed. I'll be very surprised if they don't get here. This liquidity pool. To be fair, it could even, to be conservative, I mean, you could argue that this is a liquidity pool here as well. right? So we can use this level 134.221 as a very, very high probability area where price is going to be there soon. Okay, so lots of momentum, lots of dollar strength. We now have lots of compression, momentum, a 1, 2, 3, fourth wave. We're expecting now a fifth wave for a potential long. So dollar yen looks good for shorts. It actually does look good for shorts. So I'm definitely going to add dollar yen to my watch list. What's this? Hold on. Yep, dollar yen on my watch list. 15-minute. It's happening on the 15-minute now. Yeah, I'll be looking at this bank block as a point of interest. We also have this breaker structure here on the M5. You have this banker block here as a nice little point of interest form. And then we have, it's quite big here actually, so it's not really clear. So when it's not clear and you can't really see a banker block, and then you have to use sort of this big one, or this big one, which basically not contradicts it, clashes with this one, then that's when you check a different time frame. There we go. So this is the 1 minute point of interest I'll be looking at. And then, yeah, we'll be looking at that sort of price action. I'll have this bank level here just in case, but it's not really gonna, what's the difference between it? See, 3 pips. So if it was like 1 pip, 1.4 pips, I'll base my stop loss just above this bank level. Okay, so yeah, there we go. You know what? I'm going to set an alert from around here. I do like this particular setup because we do have a boomerang 1, 2, 3, but it's based off this pattern here. Look, right? We've got there's a boomerang 1, 2, 3, boomerang of this ascending pattern. Now we're looking for the number 2 at the point of interest. Then we look for the number 3. And the fact that it's within this larger pattern and is way down after compression, but most importantly, equal lows, then yeah, this is it's a good trade. It's a good trade. So, and that's how you can, if you look at the other pairs, Euro is gone, right? Aussie, similar to dollar yen, but the difference is, it's actually quite similar to dollar yen, to be honest. If we were to maybe perhaps add this, this never, that's more or less done. And if we were to use this one, this is done as well, but it would have done a stop hunt. So yeah, this is not as clean as dollar yen. So I'm going to remove Aussie. I'm more in sync with dollar yen. It's just a lot clearer. And then dollar CAD, what did I say yesterday? Yeah, it was around these times. I was expecting price to come here as a plan A, and then plan B. Plan A failed, no confirmation. Plan B, don't know whether you guys took it, but personally, I want to take a trade in the middle of no man's land with no pattern, no equal highs, in the middle of a larger pattern. So that's the thing, you don't want to take every single banker block because you're going to take some wins and you're going to take some losses. It's just not worth it. You're better off just taking more wins than losses with high risk rewards. So yeah, no trades there. And interesting that dollar is all parabolic, and then dollar yen is just got a man of its own at the moment. Obviously, it's more correlated to the yen as well. So dollar CAD, what do we have here now? Dollar CAD looks at some clear price action, but it's still kind of in the middle of no man's land, to be honest. If this was to play out, no, it's just not. It's too expanding for me. If it was like this, I would have let that slide. This is a bit too expanding, but we'll leave it here just as a little reference. So if it does come up, then maybe it might be something valid. We do have some equal highs here though, and a nice liquidity pool. That's liquidity pool there. Would it be in conflict with a third tap? Yes, it will. So this has a potential for a drop. Okay, so dollar CAD, it's okay. If anything, because this dollar strength and it's likely to come higher, I'll definitely be favoriting some buys. That's just too much momentum. I'm not gonna. Yeah, as many as dollar yen, to be honest. So dollar yen is on the watch list, and yeah, we just wait. Now you might be asking, oh, there's dollar strength, but dollar yen is you're looking for shorts and dollar is long, you know. Trade what you see, not what you think. If this is a decent setup, I'll take it. Simple as that. If you don't feel confident and you think there's a sell setup, just step away from it or reduce the risk, right? It's completely down to you. With the dollar, it's mainly dollar and euro that I look at both of them for some confirmation. These three now, I don't really pay attention to the DXY. They're all their own setups, to be honest. I could start looking at oil, but every time I do look at oil, it's exactly telling me the same thing that dollar CAD is saying. If dollar CAD is bullish, then oil is bearish. And I'm not going to waste my time looking at oil or correlation because it's always the same thing, right? And it's the same thing with DXY and euro. I don't really have to look at it, but it gives me that extra confidence. Do I need the extra confidence with dollar CAD and oil? Not necessarily. I rarely trade dollar CAD. As you know, it's mainly DXY and euro that I look at together. Wow, this is broken. Okay. Yeah, that's it. Cool. Let's wrap things up and I'll see you guys in Discord.